Got Jingle Bell Rock stuck in my head from watching Mean Girls. Week 8 update. Week 5, no, week 6, week 7 update. Update number 7. Update number 6. Oh, update number 8. This video is sponsored by Squarespace, but I'll tell you more about that later. This last week has been obviously super tough, but it's getting better. I have these small moments of just cringing about the loss, but I really, really appreciate all the support that has come through from, just all over. A lot of incredible messages and people sharing their experiences of loss, and it really has just felt like I've been held in this in this time. So I really appreciate that. Thank you everyone for the comments, and there were obviously the comments of people like, why can't you recover your data? And it's something I researched a lot about, and these hard drives aren't your average hard drive that you can just open up. It's something that requires like a very specific process. But anyway, I don't want to talk too much about the hard drives. I had a gut feeling last week that my headspace was going to get shattered and just be all over the place. And the thing that's anchored me through this whole time has been my drawing. It's been really special to just spend time with the drawing. I've been working into the evenings and starting to re-record the process, which unfortunately reminds me of how much was lost, but I'm also just letting my mind go there and bringing it back and enjoying the sounds of the pencil on the paper. So what I'm doing here is to try and even out the tone of the shadows between the highlights. I'm also trying to refine the edge of the highlights. So I used my precision eraser to try and get these shapes as close as possible, but the precision eraser is still actually a little bit clumsy. So I'll go back in with a really sharp pencil, getting an even tone in the spaces between the highlights, and also refining the shape of the highlight. I'm pressing super lightly and just hatching back and forth, rather trying to use layers that I can brush over to slowly build up that tone. The goal here is to try and protect the fibers of the paper, so pressing really lightly and working over it layer by layer allows me to still pull out those highlights with an eraser successfully if I want to change anything. These two drawings are going to be incredibly detail heavy, and I think they're going to be very special, but the amount of time that I gave myself to draw them might have been a bit ambitious. I do need a little bit of adrenaline in order to have that level of stimulation to actually get the task done. So it's a little bit by design, but it's not a way that I want to keep living my life. So I do want to try and figure out my time management a bit more. And obviously that's a big part of being an artist, is managing your time really well and finding realistic goals that you can stick to. Being behind on your tasks or on your artworks really sucks. And I think that can rob a little bit of that creative joy. So I'm trying to balance those two things as well. I also spent some time this week showing Kenz, who's one of the apprentices who's been helping me for the last couple of months, some of the experimental techniques that I was developing for a long time. I haven't actually used them in the last couple months. They're extremely risky techniques. The results they give are incredible. And after demonstrating it for Kenz, I'm very tempted to start trying to find a way to incorporate it. It basically is just an incredible way of getting very smooth, very dark, rich tones with graphite, like very consistent ones. It just comes at a huge risk because it's impossible to erase once you've applied the graphite in this way. And because the effects are so smooth and so dark, if you're just using it for your background, then your drawing almost looks like it's standing out in an artificial, and it really doesn't lend itself to that chiaroscuro effect, which I so love. So you have to find a way to try and incorporate it in the drawing itself. And that can be really messy, and worst case scenario can ruin your drawings. So there's always a huge caveat with sharing this technique with people. I'm so worried about people ruining their drawings when they try it. A big part of the healing process for me so far has just been to go with the flow, which is a lot easier said than done. But I've been feeling quite a strong pull towards teaching, and it's been something that I felt really nervous about for the longest time. And lately there have been opportunities that have started coming up, and I've started to just go with the flow and said yes to a teacher who asked if she could bring her matric art class through to the studio. And that was something I was very nervous about, but it actually ended up being really, really lovely, and something that I'm trying to build on, and a kind of a muscle that I'm trying to develop. So that was really special. And I taught the students how to stretch paper. Recently, I made a little video about stretching paper and why I do it. Just a little recap of that. I stretch the paper to try and get my paper flat. It comes in these rolls. It's very thick paper, it's got a memory, and it's very stubborn. So to try and get it flat onto a board, I use water, and water relaxes the paper. And then as it dries, it pulls really tight. Using gum tape to stick it down means that when it pulls tight, almost like a drum skin, it goes really, really flat, which is really cool. And then also the sponges that I use kind of disrupt the surface of the paper a bit, and they give me a really nice texture to work from. So that was really cool to share with the students, and then just found myself talking about quite a few subjects that I've shared on this channel as well. So another one being whether or not to go to art school and the pros and cons around that, which is something I'm also really interested in. But yeah, I think I'm going to be stepping into that space more and more. I'm going to go slowly and gently because it's something that scares me. But I think that is a part of my practice that's starting to feel more and more fulfilling. That might be a nice segue into this video sponsor, which is, once again, Squarespace. And yeah, just a huge amount of gratitude to their support for this YouTube channel, which has also been helping me maintain my drawing practice in just a huge way. So yeah, early on in my career, I was looking for a way to showcase my work, and I didn't have time to learn HTML and try and build a beautiful, reliable, working website to make it easy for collectors to find me and get in touch with me. And I felt that Squarespace just did all of that effortlessly. I never had to patch or upgrade anything. I could register an online store and design a portfolio and show my work the way that I wanted to. Also, every time I got stuck, their amazing support team helped me out instantly. So if you're looking at building a website, give Squarespace a try. And if you decide that you love them, use the offer code and get 10% off your first purchase. I don't really know what to do about the hard drive situation. It's complicated because it's 100 terabytes, which is a very large amount of space. I'm really excited about the idea of turning what's been a huge loss into an artwork that I can engage with. And there's a ton of really exciting things on the horizon as well. It feels like it's the catalyst for massive change, and yeah, maybe it's just me trying to deal with it, but it feels like there's big things on the horizon, and I'm very excited to see where things go. I think that's all that I can share for this week. There's a couple projects which, as soon as they're in a stage where I can share them with you, I'm so excited to show you. Most of them are in the sculpture space, and there's some in the drawing space. And obviously, because I need to take a ton of reference photos again to plan my new drawings, that's going to be really fun to take you on that journey with me. So if you haven't already, subscribe if you want to see how that creative process slowly unravels. And if you're keen to show some support, leave a like. It helps the channel out. As always, thanks for the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.